So for boogie-woogie and blues piano, it's I would say the majority is about the left hand. And a lot of people think about the right hand, but like I said, if the left hand doesn't have a groove, it doesn't keep time, doesn't make the changes on time, then you can't, as a listener, you can't trust that it's gonna be there. And as the player, you can't really paint any pictures on top of it because you don't have your rhythm section. And for me, the left hand is the bass player and the drummer, basically. So there are three components that I thought of that I think of as being essential to boogie-woogie, which is basically faster blues, right? And to answer that question, blues piano, boogie-woogie piano, same thing. So people who play one usually play the other because it's the same. It's just that boogie-woogie is a little faster and it's more excited. But you've got the same techniques, the same sort of mechanics going on. And so the three components that you need for boogie-woogie piano are you need strength, you need hand independence, and you also need relaxation at the same time. So for strength, and so here I'm talking about the left hand first. Think about it. By the way, I'm a PT now. I don't know if I was here 5 years ago, but since then, and I had hair. Since then, I had 2 kids. I went back to school and got a doctorate in physical therapy. Bought a house. I moved to Rhode Island. All kinds of stuff. So you can think about it in terms of generating your force in the left hand by using bigger muscles first. So your supinators, the ones that go like this, and your pronators, the ones that go like this. Then you're going to use your finger flexors, and then you're going to use your intrinsic hand muscles. Okay, so all 3 of them together, when you use all 3 of them together, any one of them doesn't have to work as hard. Okay, so there you're already at an advantage. And boogie-woogie is probably the most repetitive type of music that you can play on piano in terms of left hand, because you might be doing this. For 3 hours or something. So if you're like claw-handed and you're just basically moving your fingers, you're gonna die after 5 minutes, probably. Your hands are just gonna not work. And I have a lot of students that when they first start learning, they say, my arm's aching, my hands hurt, and I say, suck it up, buttercup. No, I don't. So, but it's about the hand position. So if you watch, it's kind of hard to see, from this angle, but tonight when you see me play, watch my hands. They look kind of like they're just flopping around, right? Because I'm using my wrist movement, and then I'm kind of whipping, I'm rotating, I'm whipping, I'm using my fingers last to kind of hit the keys like this, okay? Second thing is hand independence. And it takes a lot of time and repetition. There's no shortcuts to this. If we look at the steps to motor learning, there's the cognitive phase where you're thinking about it. You've got to tell your finger, this is what comes, this is this. And then the next phase is repetition, over and over and over. And then as you're doing that, you're building pathways in your brain that make it easier, more efficient, so that all you have to do is think, I want this pattern, and you send off the first neuron, and then the rest, they just kind of cascade down the pattern. So when you're building the muscle memory, I believe it's important to be super vigilant about what you're building, because if you're like, that note never works, but it's okay. When I get it faster, no one's gonna hear it. But that's not true. So you gotta get it slow. If you can't play it slow, it's not gonna get better when you get it fast. And so you wanna make sure you're as precise as possible at the beginning, so that when you get to the mindless repetition phase, that you're building something that you want. Yes, also, the left hand, so the purpose of getting that independent is so that the left hand is unaffected by the right hand, right? The left hand, it can't know what the right hand's doing. the right hand has to know what the left hand's doing, but the left hand can't know what the right hand's doing. Left hand has to be doing its job like a rock, just doing it. And the right hand then can base its lines off the left hand. So actually when I'm playing, I'm mostly listening to my left hand. And I'm getting inspiration from the left hand. If the left hand is not happening, you know, if it's a new piano and I'm struggling or for whatever reason, maybe, I don't know, I have something else on my mind or something, the right hand is just kind of meanders. It just goes off its muscle memory. But if I can get my left hand, then my right hand has something to base itself off of. And I give you my phone.
Do you want?
I have no.
Okay.
Keep rolling.
Okay.
I was looking for a metronome, but does anybody have a metronome on the phone, Sean?
I do. My phone's in my purse.
Oh, I got to use your phone. It's in your purse.
Here.
Oh wait, Megan's got it.
Okay, good. Megan's got it.
You know what? It's okay. I snapped.
We can have Kieran snap. Yeah.
For my, so the metronome, I practice a lot. Thank you. I got it. So what, at first you're gonna wanna put the metronome, I practice with the metronome all the time at home. And I don't know why people don't like it, because I actually like the metronome. Sometimes I even run on the treadmill to the metronome, just for the hell of it. But start it with it on the quarter note. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is really slow. Okay. But eventually, you're going to want to make that the half note, or the backbeat, which means 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And then it becomes really fun to play with. It's like you're playing with a drummer. And then you start to do those same accents with your left hand, so that you don't, when you perform, because you probably won't be performing with the metronome unless you're in Taylor Swift's band or something and you have a click track in your ear. But you can hear it. Becomes fun. Then I have something to play off of, right? Okay, so that's that. And then the last part, the relaxation. So you can't have speed and endurance without being relaxed, really. Like there are some players, look at their hands. When you see, next time you see a video of somebody playing boogie-woogie, in a train station or an airport or wherever your aunt sends you a video, you gotta see this, this is awesome. Watch their hands, because a lot of times they're like this. And to have that flexibility to play that backbeat, to accent those things, to play a line with dynamics, you can't be tense. You cannot be tense. So I'm going to finish up by showing you my $1 million secret, or at least I haven't made $100 secret. I did this. I actually was fortunate enough to meet one of Vladimir Horowitz's child prodigy students from back in the 70s, right? And he was engineering one of my albums, and he showed me how Vladimir Horowitz trained him to play his finger exercise. Vladimir Horowitz had like 20 shades of dynamics, right? Sean's got 20 shades. I've got 3, right? I've got medium, I've got soft, medium, loud, and then really loud. Maybe I have 4. I have 4 dynamics. But I wouldn't even have those if I didn't practice. But I got into this because I was playing on some really crappy pianos as regular restaurant gigs back in the 20 years ago, and my wrists were kind of swelling up, and I was just killing myself trying to get more volume out of these crappy upright pianos, and the harder I pushed, the harder I played, like it was already at the ceiling, right? The volume could not go up. Anyway, I had to retrain myself. It took about 6 months of diligent practice to relax when I played. And then after that, I never had another problem. Here's what you do. Try this at home. Take any finger exercise. I like the hand-in ones and I like major scales. And so you want to do 4 or 5 things. I'll name them. We'll see how many there are. First, you want to be in time with the metronome. You want to start the metronome. He had me start it. No, it's not my face. He had me start the metronome at 45, and those were the quarter notes. So that's super slow. I actually fell asleep one time while I was practicing this, and woke up, and I was still playing it. And I didn't know you could do that. So you want to be with the metronome. You want both fingers to come down at the same time, so that you only hear one note. And you want them all to be the same volume. This is building your control over your fingers. That's what this is doing. And then so I guess there's 4. The last most important thing is to play and immediately relax as you hold it down. And that was so counterintuitive to me. I would play and keep pushing. And Sean's like, I learned that when I was 3. But for me, I was 25 when I learned that. I'd already been playing professionally for 12 years. Play it and hold it down with the minimum force. Okay. So to me, whether I'm playing loud or whether I'm playing soft, the only difference is in the velocity with which I play it. After that, it feels the same. So I don't kill my hands by playing boogie-woogie. That's how I do it. So you'll put the metronome really slow, and this gives you enough time to analyze what you just did and try to change it by the next note. So you want to become so precise, you only hear one note, and it's with the metronome, and you play and relax. And that's why I kept telling you, relax, 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 relax. And I remember being so impatient that I was burning. My body felt like it was burning. And I was just like, come on. And then all of a sudden, after a few days of that, it went away. And I could be patient with it. And so that was kind of a Zen moment. That might be a good side effect of doing this too, if you're an impatient person. But that was how I cured myself of pushing hard. Because think about it, it's basically a drum. It's a hammer hitting something. If you play the drums, you don't beat the drum and push the drumstick into the drum head, right? After the hammer slides back, you feel that little release at the end of the keystroke. It goes down, right? It's like resistance, resistance, resistance. After that, it doesn't matter how hard you're pushing. It's going to sound the same. So that's my secret. All right, and let's see. Did I want to say anything? Oh, one more thing, very important. Whatever you can play, make sure you can play it softly and cleanly, and not the same thing you want to play loud. Try playing it soft. So I'm gonna try. Let's see if I fall in the face with this. But I have an upright at home. I don't have a 9-foot sine wave support. So you want to keep the accent. It's also inspiring because then you have somewhere to go, right? You're not already at 9 out of 10. you're starting at like a 2 or 3. And so, all right, great. That's it from me. Thank you guys.